Thank you very much. We'll call the Conference Committee of Senate and House members to order. We have a number of bills on our conference agenda. Let me introduce the Senate conferees, and then I'll ask for the House to introduce their members. Starting at my far right is, but not necessarily, is Senator Carl Rhodes, Senator Lynn Decoy, Senator Molly Shimabukuro, and on my left is Senator Favela.
It's opposite day in the Senate. And on behalf of the House, we have Chairs Nakashima, Chair Kitagawa, myself, Representative Manager Lopresti, and Chair Todd.
Okay, very good. Since we have Senate bills up first, shall I proceed?
Please go ahead.
Thank you. The first item on our conference agenda is Senate Bill 3075, Senate Draft 2, House Draft 2, relating to the franchise tax. And this measure would provide some revenues to the Compliance Resolution Fund, and some other language requires excess revenues collected under the franchise tax to be deposited into the general fund. And as many of our bills that we will be working with, it has a wonderful effective date of 7/1/2050. So the conferees are Baker as chair, co-chair Shimabukuro, members are Chang and Favela. We have everyone here except Chang.
And on behalf of the House, we have myself and Representative Todd as co-chairs, and Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as managers.
Chair, we propose that our CD make changes to the effective date so that it becomes effective upon approval. We sent a proposed CD to Ways and Means. I think we sent you folks a hard copy of it yesterday.
You did.
And we both need Ways and Means and Finance release.
Right. And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we're amenable to the draft, so we'll be forwarding it as well
Okay.
to FIN for their consideration.
Okay, so should we reconvene on this conference item Friday, April the 22nd at 1:30 in this conference room 224?
I think that would be great.
Okay. Good. Members, if it's okay, we will go forward to Senate Bill 2185, Senate Draft 3, House Draft 1, relating to fireworks. Senate conferees are Baker as chair, Moriwaki Kidani as co-chairs, and member Favela. And I'd like to welcome Senator Moriwaki to the conference table. Your conferees, Chair?
Myself and Representative Todd as co-chairs, Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as managers.
Okay. This measure requires the auditor of fireworks and articles pyrotechnic records for each county to submit a report to the legislature detailing inventory, record keeping, sales of fireworks to licensees or permit holders, makes grants and aids to the counties to cover the cost. So as one might imagine, we will need Ways and Means and Finance approval. This bill does in fact need appropriations. It needs some clarity. If each county has such a position named in the bill, I did check for Maui County. We have such a person that could be designated to do this. And then of course, any proposed agreement needs Ways and Means and Finance approval.
I think the content is substantially similar, but I might just want to ask you and you and your co-chairs to take a look and see if you're amenable to the language that the House inserted in the HD1 version, which is just for clarification, it is the intent of the legislature that the grants and aid provided by this act are to be in addition to and not replace any funds provided to the counties.
That would be acceptable to the Senate.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree.
I think the bigger hurdle is
right, the money.
getting the money.
But I just thought we'll double check on the content, because it
Yeah,
would be a
no,
shame to
perfect. I appreciate
have
that.
the money and that be the sticking.
So shall we roll this measure over to our Friday at 1:30 in this conference room?
Sounds great.
Okay. Let's see. The next item is Senate Bill 2685, Senate Draft 2, House Draft 1, relating to planned community associations. On behalf of the Senate, Baker is chair. Senator Gabbard is co-chair, who is excused. Members Chang and Favela.
And on behalf of the House, we have myself as chair, Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as managers.
Consumer Protection has requested a proposed CD to change the effective date back to upon approval. The differences between the SD2 and the HD1 is that the HD1 added some technical non-substantive amendments and a effective date of January 1, 2050. What are your thoughts, Chair?
I'm amenable to a conference draft. I think at this point, it just maybe we're very close, so it probably just behooves us, since we don't have any money committees, to just ensure that as it pertains to cumulative voting and some of the changes here, that the various stakeholders are amenable. I think they probably are, since this is their bill, but I just need one more day to double
Sure.
check.
So shall we reconvene on this one in this conference room on Friday at 1:30?
Yes. That'd be
Okay,
great.
very good. Let's see, the next item on our conference agenda this afternoon is Senate Bill 2279, Senate Draft 2, House Draft 2, relating to catalytic converters.
So I think we skipped
Did I
over
skip one?
SB
Oh, shucks. I
2125.
skipped liquor licenses. How could I do that?
It's all exciting, but catalytic converters is pretty
I
exciting.
know, it is. It is, and amazing how they still keep getting stolen and the fine items in them siphoned out. Okay, going back, just so that we cover everything that's on our agenda. Senate Bill 2125, House Draft 1, relating to liquor licenses. On behalf of the Senate, I'm chair. Senator Rhodes is co-chair, and we have members Chang and Favela.
And on behalf of the House, we have myself and Representative Todd as co-chairs and Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as manager.
Okay, the House bill has a finance referral, so once we get a conference draft, we will need to get their release. We have requested on behalf of the conference a CD to change the effective date back to upon approval. And the differences between the SD2 and HD1 is that the HD1 contains some technical non-substantive amendments and an effective date. So we will, in the process of preparing a conference draft for your consideration, we'll just double check to see if there's any additional text that might need to be made. And then we will have that for you.
Okay, I think that's great. And I think this is a helpful way to provide a spectrum of potential penalties as opposed to just low on the current fine side or high on the licensure suspension or revocation. So this gives an intermediate one, and I think it's a good bill.
Okay, so we will reconvene on Senate Bill 2125, House Draft 1, on Friday at 1:30 in this conference room.
Correct.
Okay. Now I get to go to catalytic converters. I think there were only 11 of those bills introduced to the legislature this year, so it was a hot topic, so to
Yeah.
speak. Okay, Senate Bill 2275 relating to catalytic converters on behalf of the Senate, I'm chair. Senator Rhodes is my co-chair. Members are Riviere and Favela.
And on behalf of the House, we have myself and Representative Nakashima as co-chairs and Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as managers.
For your information, Chair and conferees, we have requested a proposed CD that includes the requested amendment from the prosecutor's office and a clean effective date.
And we would be open to that. Let's see. And this is with respect to,
It establishes the felony offense of theft of catalytic converter and requires that each county police department maintain certain reported information and initiate education programs to help prevent catalytic converter theft.
oh, yeah, I just meant, I wanted to
Oh, sorry.
clarify specifically the prosecutor's amendment, but I've spoken with them, so in principle, I'd be open to it. I do need to confer with Chair Nakashima on that front, as well as I think we both had some conversations outstanding with the Attorney General
Okay.
as well.
Have you seen this? That's what we received. And so that's sort of the basis for,
I don't remember
okay,
if I've seen this exact language.
okay.
It might have been a different format. But do you mind if I keep this?
No,
or do you want-
No,
okay.
please keep that. And why don't we have a chance to digest all of this information and reconvene on this measure Friday at 1:30.
Yeah.
That work for you?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I believe the next item on our agenda is Senate Bill 3077, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 2, relating to Barbering and Cosmetology Licensing Act. On behalf of the Senate, I am Chair, members Chang, DeCoit, and Favela.
On behalf of the House, we have myself, Representatives Matayoshi and Todd as co-chairs, and Representatives Lopresti and Matsumoto as managers.
Very good. I believe you folks received from us a CD yesterday afternoon, and we don't have money committees on ours, but you have finance. So I'm sure that you will need to have their release. The one thing that I will note is that in the proposed CD, we changed the effective date to July 1, 2022, which was requested by the DCCA.
Yes, yeah. And did you also get the memo from DCCA regarding, they had one more amendment regarding the definition of beauty instructor? They had sent it yesterday afternoon, I
Okay, it
think.
unfortunately might still be stuck in my email, but I'll
Okay,
go find
I
that.
can give you a copy of it.
Okay,
Here you go.
perfect.
This is what they had sent.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we can review this. Yes, I do think I have seen it, but thank you so very much. I'll pass that around to the members, and then I'll send you all a hard copy. So while we're reviewing the items that need to be adjusted in that particular Senate Bill 3077, shall we see what we can get taken care of and reconvene tomorrow, Friday at 1:30 in this conference room?
Yes, sounds great.
And Chair, unless I have missed something, which is always possible, I believe that brings us to the end of our agenda.
It does, with just 1 minute to wait till our next agenda.
Okay, so this conference will be adjourned. Nice doing
Thank
business
you.
with you.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Okay. Convening our Thursday, April 21st, 3:15 p.m. agenda of the joint conference committees of the Senate Consumer Protection Committee and the House Consumer Protection and Commerce Committee. Our second hearing, our brackets just on it.
That's right.
So great to see you again, Senator. And this is the one House bill that we have where we've got some conferees. So our single and only agenda item on this 3:15 p.m. is House Bill 2272, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1 relating to condominium associations. On behalf of the House, we have myself as chair, Representatives Kitagawa and Matsumoto as managers.
On behalf of the Senate, I'm chair. We have Senator San Buenaventura and Senator Favela here, and Manager Riviera is excused.
Okay, excellent. I think on this one, because you did a lot of great work in the Senate draft, we are close. We're just having to go through a few things, and maybe the one thing that you and I will probably need to discuss further that might be a point of contention. It's existed in the original draft of the bill. I took it out in the House version. It got restored in the Senate draft. And it's the inclusion of it's the added clarifications of who can perform the independent reserve study. So perhaps you and I may need to have some further conversation on that point. Otherwise, I think we're aligned on most of the edits that were made in the Senate draft. But as neither of us have any of the money committees, I think once we get to a point where we're amenable on content, we can move forward. So I'll prepare a conference draft once you and I figure out probably on the reserve study what we're going to do. Then I'll go ahead and generate a conference draft since it's the House bill.
Do you think we can get that to add it to our 1:30 agenda tomorrow?
I think we should. Yeah,
Okay,
most
okay.
definitely. So if you're open, then we'll reconvene. We'll just add it to our 1:30 p.m. agenda tomorrow, April 22nd, in this room 224. We'll roll it all into one if you're okay with that.
That's perfect.
Okay. If nothing else, then I think we're all set and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, this meeting's adjourned.
have a nice evening.
You too.